Hi and welcome back to Jaureguiberry, your yoga for scoliosis community. As you can see, I'm wearing my scoliosis t-shirt, my S-curve t-shirt, because this practice today is especially for S-curve scoliosis, or some people call it reverse S-curve as well. It depends on if you're looking from the front or from the back. But the main type seems to be a right thoracic left lumbar curve, which is what's shown on my t-shirt today. So you will only need a chair for the practice, nothing else, just yourself and your yoga mat. So get everything ready and then join me for the practice. My name is Jaureguiberry. I'm a yoga teacher and I specialize in yoga for scoliosis. So feel free to join the Facebook group and then check out the description below this video to find out about the upcoming courses and any workshops that I offer. Let's get started in mountain pose. Mountain pose is a standing posture, so we're going to bring our feet hip distance apart. And hip distance, sometimes this is a bit confusing. By hip distance, we mean where the hip bones are here at the front. So if you find those bones sticking out at the front, these are your hip bones, and the knees should be lined up with that, and then the ankles underneath. So it's not the outer parts of the hips, because then we would be standing too wide. So hip distance apart. Make sure that your right foot is doing the same as your left foot. Your left foot is doing the same as the right foot. Especially if you have lumbar scoliosis, it might be that one foot is turned out a little bit more than the other. So just make sure that they're doing the same thing. And then let's just simply close the eyes for a moment. And let's just notice the weight into the ground. Do you have more weight on one foot than the other? Just if you're standing like this. And if you do, see if you can even it out a little bit more. Good. So from there, we're not looking to change anything, to adjust anything. I just want you to notice the way that you're standing from the inside out. So notice the contact with the floor, and we're allowing for the feet to press into the ground, and at the same time, the crown of the head lifts away from the floor, up towards the ceiling a little bit more. So we want to create a little bit more length in the spine. Good, strong legs. See if you can engage your legs a little bit more. Good, and then simply just open your eyes. So we haven't changed anything about this standing posture. I just want you to kind of notice your shoulders. So if you tend to have one shoulder that is rolling forward, so if you have a S-curve scoliosis, which is shown on my top here, a right thoracic one, then chances are that your right shoulder rolls forward. So let's just roll it back and ask for the rib cage to kind of stay in and back a little bit more, the shoulder blade staying in and back. Good, so just notice that little adjustment that I did. So from rolling forwards, I'm just bringing it back and in a little bit. So just a tiny little bit of adjustment. And then see if you can lengthen through the right side of the waist at the same time. So for me, this feels like I'm shifting my weight slightly over to the right. So these are the instructions for right thoracic, left lumbar. If your curve is the other way around, then you need to reverse the instructions. Good, so we're just allowing for the body to feel what it feels like standing in this way, this slight adjustment. Good, and then just relax for a moment, relaxing the effort, whatever that means to you. You can roll your shoulders a couple of times. And then let's take the arms up over the head. Inhale, lifting up, look up towards the ceiling, and then exhale, bring the hands down, bring the arms down and look down towards the ground. So inhale, we're reaching the arms up, and exhale to lower the arms. We're just warming up the upper body a little bit more. Inhale to reach up and exhale to lower. Good, last one, inhale and exhale to lower the arms. Good. So we're going to come into a standing half moon pose. It's not the balancing pose. It's a standing one. So we're bringing the arms up over the head. And then I'm taking hold of my left wrist with the right hand. So left wrist with the right hand. And I'm using the right hand to lengthen the left arm up towards the ceiling and over to the side. Good. So just notice what happens to this curvature here. So I am now lengthening the left side of the thoracic spine, which is the side that needs a bit more space. So see if you can take a couple of breaths just into that left side. Good. Coming back to center. And then we're going to go over to the other side. So we're going to reach up through the right arm, lengthen, and then take it over. Now on this side, we know that the right thoracic doesn't need more space. However, the right lumbar spine does. So see if you can imagine you're lengthening through the waist a little bit more. And see, I'm shifting my hips over towards the right a little bit more because that's my focus. So I'm imagining I'm breathing here into the space on the right waist. Good. And then coming back up, we're going to do the other side one more time because that rib cage area really enjoys this stretch here with the arms up over the head. So bringing the left arm, reaching up through the left arm and then take it over. And here I'm really bending from the rib cage, not from the waist so much. Good. This feels really good. So take another breath. And then let's slowly release and then just release the arms. Roll the shoulders a few times. Good. And we're going to work with our chair. So I'm going to turn my chair around because I would like the back of the chair towards me. We're going to come into a half downward dog. So I'm bringing the hands on the backs on the back of the chair and then start to walk my feet back. And I'm allowing for the pelvis to tip forward. So imagine the tailbone is now pointing towards the back of the room. And this is really nice to just lengthen through the whole of the spine. See if you can imagine reaching forwards with the arms and at the same time you're creating this traction by bringing the feet back. So notice that my feet are directly underneath the hips. So I'm not here in a kind of plank sort of variation. I have the feet directly underneath the hips. And you can bend your knees as much as you need to, especially if you have tight hamstrings. And then just enjoy that stretch for a few moments just before you think about adjusting your curve. Good. And then from here, we're going to make this tiny little adjustment. We're going to bring the right hip back slightly. So it's a slight shift. So think about, again, lengthening the right side of the waist. And then I'm reaching through my left arm a little bit more. So the left arm reaches forwards. Good. So this is just to counter the curve. Let's take another breath. Good. And then just bend your knees and then slowly bringing yourself back up into standing. Good. Let's do one more pose. We're going to do triangle pose. And let's take the legs wide. Just as wide as is comfortable for you. Turning the left foot out and the right foot in. Good. So we're going towards the left side first into our triangle. And again, this top is quite useful for that because you can see what's happening with the curve. So what's nice going to the left is that right side of the waist is getting a little bit more length here. But what we don't want to do is shorten the left side of the rib cage, which is why I'm going to use my chair and I'm going to bring my hand onto the back of the chair so I can keep that length here. So just notice how I can kind of lengthen through the right side of the waist a little bit more. And at the same time, keeping that space on the left side. So I'm not going into it very far, so I could go deeper, but I'm focusing on making this a comfortable pose. So see if you can really use your feet pressing down through the feet and just allowing for the body to be in this shape for a few breaths. It's a really nice stretch, also strengthening for the legs. Good. And then slowly bringing yourself up. Good. So one more thing. So those of you who know triangle pose, you might think, well, normally we would be in this shape, we would have the top arm up, but I purposely left the right hand onto the waist so I can keep that right rib cage back a little bit more. Good. Let's change sides. So I'm going to turn my left foot in and my right foot out. Good. So on this side, I really want to keep that length now in the right side of the waist a little bit more. So I could put a block underneath the foot to elevate it a little bit more, but for today I'm just going to kind of not take it too far. So I'm really thinking about the thigh bone kind of coming in to keep that length, bringing the hand down onto the leg, and here again to counter that thoracic curve, I can really draw the right shoulder blade back and in. Again, I'm not going too far with this. And then here, I do quite enjoy that little bit of space on that left side of the thoracic spine. So you could bring the arm up and just breathe here into that left side. Good. That's it. And then slowly bringing yourself up. Good. So you might feel that this pose feels quite different on one side to the other. So I would love for you to experiment a little bit with this. So have a little play around with it, see what feels good in your body, and make sure to rest after this practice. So have a few minutes in Shavasana to lie down, allow for the body to absorb all the benefits of the practice. And I will see you very soon for the next video.